At the beginning of June, I made a video titled Brady Tkachuk is Overrated. My opinions on Brady Tkachuk 2018 NHL Entry Draft Prospect Discussion. And I'm making this video here today, like half a year later, talking about how I was wrong. Because in my video, I talked about Brady Tkachuk in the context of his brother Matthew, and how Matthew Tkachuk in his draft year had, in my opinion, a better draft year than Brady. Now, I know a lot of people got on me for comparing junior stats to college stats and all that, and I acknowledge that, but at the same time, I think that Matthew's OHL season was just so good that, to me, it definitely overshadowed Brady's NCAA season with Boston. Also, there was the whole thing that I brought up in the video, talking about how before these guys played in their draft year clubs, playing for the US national team, Brady was severely outclassed by Matthew in terms of production. Which is why, heading into the 2018 NHL draft, I talked about it, I had Brady Tkachuk personally at number 7. I had Dahlin, Svechnikov, Zadina, Hughes, Boqvist, and Wahlstrom all ahead of Tkachuk. And now, it's mid-December, and out of the top 4 NHL draftees from this year, every single one of them has made their NHL clubs. And it's weird because they're all at 17 or 19 points. Dahlin is out here with 19, Svechnikov with 17, Jesperi Kotkaniemi with 17, and Brady Tkachuk with 17. But the only thing is, Brady Tkachuk has played 23 games. Now, going back earlier into the season, Brady Tkachuk was actually already at 16 points in 18 games played. So Tkachuk in the most recent few games has been held off the score sheet quite a bit, which is why he's now up to 23 total games and 17 points. But it's actually crazy to me, because Brady Tkachuk is on a pretty good Ottawa Senators team. They have a lot of really good players, and their offense has really sparked itself up from where we thought things would be, and overall guys like Stone, Chabot, Duchesne, they've all been leading the charge of the offense, and guys like Dzingel, White, Tierney, and Bodker, they're all at 20 plus points too, and Brady Tkachuk would most likely be at this plateau as well had he have played 34 games and he hadn't missed out on 11 games this season. But Tkachuk made himself a really strong candidate for the Calder Trophy early on when Elias Pettersson was down with his concussion. But I think Elias Calderson is eventually going to win it, it's just that Brady Tkachuk is a really good second option. And that's kind of weird to me, because I could honestly say that I really did not expect this hot of a start from Brady Tkachuk. Because if you watched my Brady Tkachuk is Overrated video, I made a lot of comparisons to his brother Matthew, and how Matthew Tkachuk hit 40 points in his NHL seasons in his first 3 years, and in his first year he had 48 points in 76 games for the Flames. Brady Tkachuk's current pace, assuming he plays the rest of the games in this NHL season, he's on pace for 52 points, which is statistically better than Matthew Tkachuk. Now, if you take this same comparable and you multiply it out by 82 games, Brady Tkachuk, had he played a full 82-game season, would have been on pace for 61 points, which is better than Matthew. And I admit that I was wrong in saying that I believe Matthew was better by quite a bit over Brady Tkachuk. But what does this say about the draft, though? Because the guys that I had over Tkachuk initially in the 2018 NHL entry draft, Dahlin, I probably would still take him over Tkachuk. Svechnikov, yes. Zadina, you know what? Honestly, I have no idea. Zadina has the higher ceiling in my opinion, but Zadina playing with the Detroit Red Wings AHL team is at 17 points in 26 games. And we also kind of know that Detroit doesn't like to rush their prospects in. They always like sending them back to college, or not having them in the NHL yet. They like having these transition years in the draft plus 1, draft plus 2, etc. Usually, their prospects always make it in the draft plus 2. We saw that with Larkin, Werenski, and we'll most likely see it with Zadina. But I know I had Zadina going into the NHL this season, it's just that, you know, Detroit, they always like to develop their prospects. So overall, would I still take Filip Zadina over Brady Tkachuk? In my opinion, I probably would. But at the same time, I acknowledge that Brady Tkachuk has certainly blown away my expectations, and he's just been so electrifying out there. I'm not going to say that he's been carrying the offensive load for the Senators, because the Senators have a lot of really high-scoring players too, even without Erik Karlsson. But Brady Tkachuk has been right in the thick of things, and he's allowed himself to really feed off of that really good offensive core around him and stabilize himself as a full-time NHLer. At the moment, I'd say that Brady is probably better than Matthew. At least in Matthew's draft plus 1 year, because Matthew Tkachuk right now is at 40 points in 34 games, which is really, really good. But overall, the Tkachuks have just been blowing this away, and I acknowledge 100% that I was wrong about Brady. I said that I would most likely see him developing into a solid NHLer at a middle six role, and I believe I capped him off at like 60 points in his prime, which is kind of crazy right now because he's on pace for 50 in his 19-year-old season. So I was wrong. I was really wrong. Would I still have Brady Tkachuk in my 7th overall spot? I mean, probably. But he's certainly much better than I thought he would be. And I give him full props for that. So, Ottawa Senators, good on you guys for drafting the NHL-ready talent. You might be able to argue that Filip Zadina is arguably an NHL-ready talent right now as well, but, you know, Detroit, they've got their own agenda. But Ottawa, you guys lucked out with it. Brady Tkachuk is great, and he's gonna get better from here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Your positive gaming, and bye.